Okay. Yes.
Good afternoon, dear friend. Today is the 19th of June, the year 2011, and we are in the 4 days of the health retreat in Nutmeg Town, England. And this afternoon we will continue to the session of how to listen to our body, examine our waste product, and some signs and symptoms on our face, around our body, to see what's going on inside of our body. If we can do this on a daily basis, early in the morning, or at least we can do it every other day, we will have an opportunity to reflect and to correct it right away, so we don't end up with have a severe condition or chronic disease. As you see on the table, early in the morning when we wake up, we will learn later on some technique to warm up, to send a signal to certain organ in our body. But after we finish all that, the first thing we do is go to the toilet, have the first urination in the morning. So normally, perfectly during the 24 hours for the female, we should have only 4 urination a day. For male, only 3 times. That is perfectly if we are in healthy state, we eat properly and we drink properly. On average, we can say that easy to remember 4 for everyone, for all gender. But if we have more than that, that means if we urinate more than 4 times a day, we should examine the color, the volume, the content of that, to see how can we adjust it so it will become properly. Normally, the first urine in the day, the color will be darker, like color of our teeth, the black teeth. and the smell will be stronger during the day. If we not aware of how much we urinate each time, we can have a cup or a bottle or whatever we can try to collect and measure a few days or a few times randomly, and by urinate mindfully and measuring, we will know how much we urinate in certain period of time, a few seconds, with the flow or freely and appropriately or perfectly. Each time we urinate about 250 minimum to 300 milliliter. So if the volume in that range, consider we have a healthy bladder and nervous system, especially the parasympathetic, the one who responsible for the muscle in our bladder and urinary tract. So if we have more than 4 urination a day and the volume less than 250 milliliter, we need to adjust the volume so it can collect more. When we are so exciting, when we are so frequent fear or so stressed, especially for the young children or the elderly, usually we cannot hold the urine or the feces because our parasympathetic be stressed, be stimulated. So that's why when the volume of urine come out less than 250 milliliter each time, that means either our parasympathetic be stimulated or weak, or the bladder will it be stimulated or too sensitive, or especially for women, the uterus it's too heavy or the tendon is loose, so it stress on the bladder.
It puts pressure on. Does it put pressure on?
Or sometimes the bladder, it be weak by itself. Yeah. So sometimes, most of the time, the modern medicine, the doctor will suggest a surgery to tie it back.
Yeah.
But that's not good. Okay, because the more we doing that, the more the body will respond, and it will lose it, and we have to remove it again and surgery and cut it again. The only way we can help that, we use acupressure combined with exercise and the diet. That is 3 aspects we always apply to prevent surgery or medication. First, we can use acupressure point at the end of our chin. You can press in that, especially, for example, whoever forgot to go to the toilet before the lecture, and we sit for an hour and a half or 2 hours. Are you on the freeway? You on the car on the freeway, or in the meeting room, or wherever? We don't have an opportunity to go to the toilet. You can try. You press this point at the end of our chin. Only a few seconds, 30 seconds or a minute maximum. It can help you to hold an hour to 2 hours. Or maybe we have the night urination too often. We can press this one. And the other point, the top, the tip of our eyebrow. The tip of our eyebrow. So that is the first technique, the first solution. The second solution, we will cut down the fluid intake, especially if we have night urination. We try to cut down after 7 p.m. Just drink one sip at the time when we feel thirsty. And we try to minimum eating salad, fresh fruit, fresh vegetable, or too much liquid soup.
Could you just say what part of the eyebrow was it?
The tip of eyebrow.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
And then we can minimize watching the television or reading the book, too exciting, too stimulate, or drink coffee. Because coffee that is half diuretic, it has a diuretic activity, and it's the stimulant too. So coffee, tea, alcohol, all that one, we minimize that one. So we have 3 different solutions. Change the diet, press the point at the end of our chin and the tip of our eyebrow, and also the exercise to help for the bladder wall and the uterus tendon. We lay down on our trunk, on our back, and you do the exercise like the bicycle on the air. Press our thigh as much as possible to the belly, and we do bicycle on the air.
What was that about the belly? You mentioned something about the stomach.
When we lay down on our back and we do the bicycling on the air, that's not only to help the belly, the lower abdominal muscle, but it automatically shrinks and it pulls up the uterus and the bladder. And also we try to massage our chin and our eyebrow. From the tip we massage out to our side, to the temple and our chin. So after a few days we can minimize the number of urination from maybe too many times. Maybe you have 5 or 6 times a day, maybe more than that, because I saw you guys drink too much.
Thank goodness.
That's the one thing. So around 4 to 5 times maximum. Besides that, we can base on the color. So first we adjust based on the volume. Secondly, we base on the color. Normally, the first one in the morning, the color is kind of dark color like the black tea. And then after that, the color is supposed to be light yellow, like the normal tea. If we see the color coming out, it's like the tap water, that means we know we drink too much. And the volume is more than 250, the number is more than 4 or 5 times, we know that is too much. So now we learn to drink slowly and less, and then we will cut down the number of urination. Once in a while, especially during the fall, when we not really exercise, when we not drink a lot, and then we eat some for the fall we start to eat some zinc product to prevent for the cold. And then if we overuse that and the body not get used to, even though we have 4 times of urination a day, but if the color still dark, we may drink more. Or sometimes the body have some reaction because we exposed to a toxin in the food or in the environment, and the liver try to get rid of that. Whenever we see the urine have a dark color, we may drink more, so we may have 5 or 6 urination a day. Except when we know that we are taking vitamin, when we take some medication, when we eat a lot of colorful food like beef, like some dark color food, some vegetable, it have too much iron, something like that. Or especially when we eat red meat, it have some ingredient to preserve meat, and it have a color. So when we know we eat all that product or we take medication, it have that dark color, so that is normal. Just after the few days, when we stop taking all that, the urine will come back to the normal color. But if we not taking any of that product and the urine color all of a sudden it become dark, we should drink more to let it dilute it out and it eliminate all the toxin in our body. But if we keep drinking more and the color still darker, and especially if we smell the bad fishy odor, it may have some infection or some damage up to the kidney, the nephron. Or if we have urinary tract infection, which may cause irritation, so we have to urinate more, and we got a byproduct of the bacteria or the amide, the protozoa, which may cause bad odor. In that case, the color may change and we may need to drink more to flush it out. And sometimes we will see it have the cloudy, like the white color at the end of the flow. When we eat the product have too much calcium or magnesium or mineral, oxalate, etc. That's normal, unless when we see the urine it's cloudy, or sometimes it have some gelatin, like the mucus, clumsy, coagulate at the bottom. That means our kidney have some problem. The protein and the amino acid it be leak out in the nephron tube. So if we examine the volume, the color, and the size, any sign or symptom correlate, we will know right away. If we have, especially for women, have more tendency to have a urinary tract infection than men, you can use the vinegar, or you can use bicarbonate, what we call bicarbonate, yeah, about 1 to 2% wax or dust. The other one we had the lid, the top of the radish. That one during this season or the fall season we had a lot. So we ask the farmer, we buy and we collect and we dry it. We say to you during the year. Just need about 3 to 4 clusters, and you cook in about 1 to 1.5 liter of water, and you have about a teaspoon of sea salt. We can drink that one internally, or we can have it in the basin and sit in that basin to relieve or to help for the urinary tract infection. We can drink as much as water of cranberry juice, orange juice. It have activity, antibiotic activity, and it help. It have a diuretic activity, so it will help to flush out the bacteria in the urinary tract. So that is the first waste product we have in the morning. The second one, that is the fish. We should have 1 bowel movement a day if we eat properly, if our digestive work properly, and if we exercise or we have the healthy central nervous system, especially the parasympathetic. We suppose to have only 1 bowel movement a day between 5 to 7 a.m. And we already learned why that is the time for the bowel movement, because that according to the circadian rhythm of the nature, it will help us, so the movement of the feces through the large intestine is much easier. So if we have more than once a day, that is the problem. Once in a while, okay, but more than 2 or 3 times per week, that's considered abnormal. So now we have to go deeper, do the research to see what's going on and what cause of that. If the size of output more than 1/8 total size of input, that's the abnormal. And then it depends. I put 1/10 to 1/8 because it depends on the diet. If we eat meal with 5 grain and good stuff, and our digestive system work properly, absorb properly, the output will be only about 1/10. But if we eat a lot of raw food, or if we not chew carefully, if our intestine not absorbed properly, the output may be more than 1/8, 1/6, 1/7, etc. And then we can examine. Normally we try to deny, or we don't want to look back to see the product of our manufacturer.
Oh, wonderful.
But now we have to learn, because this is the truth, this is the reality, and this is our product. A few minutes ago, we treat it inside, we manufacture that, and this is the gold in hidden in the ground, in our body. Now we expose it out. So we need to examine that. By examining this one, we will learn more reality and the truth. For example, we usually have illusion. We prepare our meal very delicious, very good smell, decorate, it looks very good, right? But if we pay attention, the more ingredient, the more spicy we use, the more delicious input, the more horrible smell output. Right? So that is one inside.
It's true when you eat curry.
Yeah, that means the more spicy, the more ingredient, the more good smell when you input, the more horrible the odor coming out. So that is one insight we learn about the truth. So if we learn how to examine, how to observe that, we will modify our diet appropriately. Not only that, later on we will learn to observe and to smell. Our body, the sweat or the odor, we will learn how to adjust the intake of our food, so we don't have to use the deodorant or the shampoo or the other thing to help to clean our body. Especially, we have a bad smell in our mouth. So back to this one, if we first thing very sensitive, when we smell the bad odor, we know the intake no good, so we need to adjust that. Secondly, we learn to observe the total volume. So if the volume come out too much, more than 1/8, we have to examine more carefully about the texture to see which part of our digestive system had a problem. And if we have a more than 1 bowel movement a day, we should examine to see where the problem come from. If everything good, that means the texture really fine, the smell not really bad, and the shape in good shape, not in a loose thing, and the number more than one. That means we consume more than our body needs. Okay, so if we eat and then we go right away, if we eat and the volume coming out more than 1/8, that means okay, either the absorption not doing good or we eat more than our body needs. Secondly, now we observe carefully the texture. If every day it come out like it, that means we don't eat enough fiber, we don't drink enough water.
Which one was that? You don't eat
The first one.
Yeah, yeah.
If every day it come out like the first time, that means we don't eat enough fiber, we don't drink enough water. But usually when we have this product, that means we be constipated for about 2 to 3 days. The longer it stays in our large intestine, the more water we suck out. So that means it becomes harder and smaller. And then when we know that, we can add more fiber, drink more water. But usually when we have this problem, we will constipate for 2 to 3 days. The solution for this: eat more fiber, drink more water, exercise more. But to rescue that, emergency rescue, drink either olive oil, sesame oil, about 2 tablespoons. As soon as you find out you had an issue with that, and drink the whole cup, about 200 to 300 milliliters of warm water. And exercise, you can rub your belly, but it will slower than you massage your chin. Use your index finger, you push from the right to the left and down the chin.
Did you say olive oil for constipation?
Yeah, or sesame oil.
Yeah.
And you see our large intestine, it goes from the right to the left, going down, and this is our chin. Just think about this is our face, this is our nose, and this is our upper lip, and this is our lower lip, and this is our chin area. So we use the right index finger, you press from the right to the left on the upper lip, then go down, press, massage the chin downward. That is when we have a constipation. But when we have diarrhea, we have to do opposite. Okay? It's very sensitive. Okay? And then secondly, toilet training. You should learn, you should train your body like we train the children. If we don't have the bowel movement at the right time from 5 to 7, it will harder, especially when we go to the different place. And our nervous system, okay, is very sensitive. When we worry too much, when we be stressed too much, it will interfere all of that. When we change our diet, it happens too. So toilet training, drink olive oil or sesame oil with warm water and massage the lip, the upper lip and the chin. When we see we had the second time, that means it kind of needs more water. And if we look at the texture, if the texture is fine, that means if we see the type 2, type 3 and type 4, right? Type 3 and type 4 is the best one. If the texture coming out is too big, that means we still see the fiber of the vegetable, we still see the sesame or the carrot or whatever we eat, it's still not really fine. That means our upper digestive system problem, we not chew carefully, our stomach not squeeze properly, the liver and the gallbladder not secrete enough enzyme for digestion. But if you see the texture really fine, like number 3 and number 4, but the volume come out still a lot more than 1/8, it's about 1/6 or 1/5, etc. That means the upper digestive system work well, but the lower, the absorption not doing it, right? Because it's not absorbed, so that means after they clean it, after they mix it with all the enzyme fluid and everything alright, so that's why the texture is very fine, but come down here to the small intestine, it's not absorbed, it put out right away. So if we have the fine texture, the high volume, the high number, after we eat about half an hour to an hour, and they want to go to the bathroom right away, that means we had a problem with the absorption or the nerve, the parasympathetic be stimulated to be stretched. So we can adjust that. And if we have more than 2 a day and the volume coming out a lot, that means we eat more than our body needs. So we need to cut down the intake and chew more slowly. If we have a type 5, type 6, type 7, that is we have a diarrhea, dysentery because of bacteria, amide, or other protozoa, or maybe the toxin too strong. When we eat some kind of mushroom or some vegetable, the toxic level is too high, or the toxin is too strong, too potent, our body will push it out right away. If it's still above the stomach, we will vomit. If it passed through the stomach down to the duodenum, we will have diarrhea. And if the toxin is not really potent and the amount not a lot, we don't have any blood, any mucus in there. But many times we will see it had a blood and a mucus like the gelatin, the white color. Sometimes we see the yellow color, sometimes we see the greenish color. But most common, the dark brown, that means the blood, or the red color, that is blood, and the white or yellow mucus stick to that. The reason because when we have diarrhea by bacteria, by protozoa, by amoeba, by candida, all that can damage our intestinal wall. And because when our body see or recognize all that toxin, the first thing it does secrete more mucus to block all that toxin, don't let it penetrate. You see? So that's why we get the reaction from the body, from the intestinal wall, to secrete more mucus, to block it, like a barrier or a filter. And secondly, because the movement increase to put out all that toxin. So when the movement be stimulated too strong, all the mucus just be secrete, it pushes out. And sometimes the intestinal wall be damaged by the toxin, it's too potent, or by the bacteria, and the blood coming out. So when we see red blood, that means very acute. When we see the dark brown color, that means it's subacute or chronic. That is in case we have a diarrhea. But all the time, if we see the color have a dark brown like the chocolate in the horse stool, most of the case the patient have bleeding up to the stomach or the duodenum area, because it have an acid environment, and also it had to pass through a long way, 7 meters long. The enzyme fluid will convert that color, and that's why it has a dark color. It's no longer red. When we see the brown or red color, that means it's at the last portion of the intestine, usually the large intestine or the sigmoid area. If we see the blood at the top, the head, or in the middle, that means we have the bleeding or the damage in this portion. If we see the red blood at the end, if we see the red blood at the end of the stool or in the toilet bowl, that means we have the problem at the sigmoid area and the anal. In case they have some polyp, some tumor around this area, or hemorrhoid, internal or external hemorrhoid. It has some case the patient doesn't have any tumor or hemorrhoid, but because constipation, and we had a problem with don't have enough fatty acid. The skin is not flexible enough, so when the stool goes through it, it will stretch the anal and it's bleeding out here. So by exam the stool, the blood position on the stool and in the toilet bowl, we may recognize and we may identify the region where it be damaged. And especially when we have constipation regularly, when we have hemorrhoid and bleeding, we change diet, exercise, and use the sesame oil better than olive oil, because the sesame oil it not only have capacity or it have a function as a lubricant for the intestine, it also have capacity to withdraw or to extract the bad toxin in our body. And the last one, it have a healing capacity when it pass through, usually around the stool, along the intestinal wall. Any damage, it will heal it. It will heal it, and it makes it more flexible, more softer, and more durable. So in that case, we can drink on the top, and we have about 2 milliliters on our palm, and we use our finger, index finger, and then we apply. Instead of we apply glycerin or Vaseline, now we apply the sesame oil. It will help to stop bleeding, healing for the hemorrhoid and the bleeding, the cracking down in the anus. So that's the for the second product from our plant.